Hi there. This is Christina with LeadsAndLeverage.com. And today it's a question and it's a statement. So it's two things today. Really, I actually hear this, unfortunately, I hear it from experts in the industry a lot. And actually an agent came to me and said, I heard that I should just be showing up and engaging with people on Facebook, that I shouldn't be selling. The other thing I've heard from other people, people teaching from platforms and things like that, is that social media wasn't created for selling. It wasn't created to sell. And both of these actually tie in together. That on the one hand, you've got people saying you need to just be social, you need to be there, it wasn't created to sell, you shouldn't be selling, things like that. So here it is. The telephone was not created to be a GPS device for us to drive around and find our way. The telephone was not created for us to be on Facebook, to engage with people. The telephone was created so that people could call each other and talk. That's why it was created. However, just because something is created for one reason does not mean that it doesn't grow and adapt and change to be another reason. Computers were not created to be in our homes, sitting on our desks, carried around on little microscopic, phones like this, or on our laptops. That wasn't their intention when they were created. However, things adapt, things change, people use things differently. So that's the first thing. You really need to understand that just because something wasn't created to be, do, or whatever doesn't mean that you can't use it. Don't put it in a box. It doesn't mean it can't be adapted. Don't put things in a box. That's the very first thing I have to say. And if you're going to limit yourself to thinking that you can't sell on social media, you're putting it into a box, and just stop. So that's kind of the first element of that question. But the part that really got me was that I should just be showing up and engaging with people on Facebook, and that I shouldn't be selling, and that the sales will happen. That is actually kind of a flat out blatant lie. Let's use this in real life, face-to-face example. Just because you show up, say you're part of the Chamber of Commerce, just because you show up at Chamber of Commerce events and you talk to people, it doesn't mean that you're going to get sales. In fact, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, especially if you don't do any selling. If you don't do any listening and pulling people in, hearing what their problems are, and then solving those problems through selling, through educating people on a process and on how things happen is part of selling. It's coming from a servant's heart, of course, but it's still part of selling. So if you're going to be involved in something, whether that is Facebook or social media, or whether that's your local Chamber of Commerce, or whether that is whatever you're involved in, you can't just show up and expect to get sales. Things aren't just going to fall into place. That is a lie. I mean, it's a flat out, it happens at times, but it's one little thing here and there. You're not going to be able to feed your family on the fall into place events that happen. You must be proactive. You need to proactively approach the right people, the right network. You need to continue to stay in contact with that network outside of that event, whatever event it is that you're going to, which means for your chamber events, you need to be going, you need to know who you're going to make contact with, how you can help them, and how they can help you. It's all of a payoff thing. The same person that you help may not necessarily be the same person that helps you, but you help, you are helped. It's the way it works. The same way on social media. Yeah, you can show up and engage, and you need to be there. You need to be where people are, and you need to engage, but you also need to be proactively pulling people into your database. And by database, I mean into the place that you're going to build a deeper relationship with them. That is part of selling. You can't just be reactive to what happens around you. And I mentioned this last week, people don't compartmentalize. You can't compartmentalize your life, you as an agent. So if you didn't see last week's, go to last week's post where I said that, people don't go to Facebook to buy houses. And you're right, they don't. However, we don't compartmentalize our lives. You can't compartmentalize yours either. You can't just go to Facebook to talk and expect that it will produce referrals and results for you. You need to be proactive. You need to have a strategy. You need to understand. So don't fall under the umbrella of thinking of putting social media into a box that you can't sell on it. What I think they're actually saying, and this may or may not be true. I could be putting assumptions on here, but what I think they're actually saying is that don't go out there into social media and don't go out there. See, my screen did it again, guys. Sorry about that. Don't go out there and just slam your listings out to people. You know, you wouldn't go to a chamber event and slap a listing on your forehead and wear it around and go, see. You wouldn't do that. So I think, now this is a putting an assumption, but I think that's what they're talking about. But as far as they're saying it in a way that makes you think that you can just kind of go to a networking event, a commerce event, and sit there and people will just come to you. Or you can go to people and talk and somehow that'll get you sales. It doesn't work that way. You have, like I said, you have to have a strategy. You have to be proactive. You have to pursue. If somebody gives you a referral, if somebody said, you know, you're at an event or you're on Facebook and they say, hey, my friend blah, blah, blah is looking for a house. Just say, hey, I can help them. That doesn't get you the deal. That doesn't seal the deal. You need to help them. You need to figure out a way to be proactive and help them. It takes effort on your part, and it's not just having a conversation on Facebook, and it's not just being there. And like I said, ignore the naysayers who say social media wasn't created for selling. Ignore them. It was created to engage, to build relationships. I mean, it was created for whatever reason it was created. It doesn't matter. Things change. And now it's related. It's there for us to deepen relationships. Facebook especially and Twitter both are really now there for us to be able to target, to bring people into our sphere. We can target them through ads, bring them into our sphere, and we can build relationships with them. I mean, because ultimately to work with people in real estate, you got to build some sort of relationship. They have to, whether you know them intimately or not, they have to know and trust you. And whether that's through video or through your emails or however it is, that's a relationship. It might not be a fully equal balance to a relationship, but it is a relationship. And you can't build a relationship unless you bring people in. You can't build a relationship with phantom people. So bring people into your funnel, into your database, and start building a relationship with them. And don't put social media into a box, and don't just think you can just sit there and wait for the grapes to be plopped into your mouth, because it doesn't work that way. So if you have any questions, this was kind of a big long, it was 2 different elements that I saw this last week and somebody asked me that question. So if you have questions, please bring them over to the Facebook for Real Estate Agents group. It's facebook.com/groups/for-real-estate-agents, and let me know what your questions are. And I'll answer them for you. And I'll try and help you to lead generate, to use Facebook for the 2 ways you can use it. 1 is to deepen the relationships of the people you already know. That's through your personal profile. And 2 is to bring in more people into your sphere so you can get to know more people, so you can have more relationships, so you can have more business. All right. This is Christina with LeadsAndLeverage.com. Have a great week.